Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Well, back to tell you about a great event coming up on November 4th, and you're probably thinking, wow, that's a lot of lead time. You know why? Because the early bird ticket deadline is coming up on September 30th. It is their 9th edition of Black Tie Bingo, and here to tell us all about it, I'm joined by Tom Hewitt, the president of the Bruyère Foundation. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you very much, Derek.
Let's talk, first of all, about the foundation itself and sort of its mission and vision, Tom.
Sure. It's the fundraising arm for Bruyère. What isn't well known anymore in Ottawa is what makes up Bruyère.
Right.
Bruyère, there's the Elizabeth Bruyère Hospital, which is in the Byward Market, and that's what most people think about, and it's best known. But it also includes the St. Vincent Hospital campus off of Bronson. It includes St. Louis Residence in Orleans, a long-term care facility, and we have a new transitional facility off Main Street called Greystone. So those 4 campuses make up what we now call Bruyère Continuing Care, and it's a very big operation now. It's not just a single place that most people have known in Ottawa for their lives.
And a lot of different programs and services, right? I mean, you really deal with not just patients, but residents, family members. The programs go beyond just looking after the patient themselves.
I think the extra touch that our patients experience because they're with us longer than in an acute care setting is that the family members get looked after too, because they're part of the healing process. Some of them are traumatized by what's happened to somebody, if they've had a stroke or if they're going through dementia or if they're in their last days of their lives in palliative care. So the staff are pretty good about being inclusive with the family members, yes.
And I can tell you from personal experience, my wife's mother went to Bruyère, and whenever we either cycle or drive by, my wife gets emotional, and it's because of the people that looked after her, not just because she lost her mom, but because of the great people and the staff that were there and the volunteers that were there. They do amazing work.
They draw from a very, I call it, deep well of compassion. That really is, it's a special kind of person that can deal with, now I presume that your mother-in-law was in palliative care. She was at the end of her life. Yeah. So it's the best known program of Bruyère, but it's only 31 beds. That's the funny thing.
Right.
And yet anybody who experiences what your wife did remembers it very fondly. Mixed emotions, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The loss of the mother, but somebody that helped them experience perhaps a gentle landing.
Agreed.
The nice thing is our foundation was just running a campaign to pay for the construction of a brand new palliative care unit. So the one that your mother-in-law was in at Bruyère Hospital is now moved to St. Vincent, and it's a state-of-the-art palliative care unit. Same great people, but way newer physical facilities. So we're just trying to raise the last $300,000 for that campaign, but the facility's open and the patients are there.
Yeah, and I think we have a photo there, Dave. If you could bring that up of I think it's one of the rooms there that you've been that you're discussing.
Well, and that's what you're looking at there is a new device called the Alta platform, and that is a robotic transfer device. So rather than having 2 or 3 staff members transfer that patient to the bed so they can change them and do everything else, this robotic device operated by one person slides over, moves the person off.
Wow.
And those fabulous devices were made in Canada, in Toronto, by a fabulous company called Able Innovations.
Okay.
They were modified with help from our Research Institute team, who helped them modify some of the workings of that bed, or platform rather. It's $80,000 for that. We've had a number of people come forward and purchase them.
Wow.
By way of a donation.
That is amazing.
So that this is going to transform healthcare, and we don't have the people to, 2 and 3 people to be moving patients all day, several times a day. This is going to change that.
Great point, Tom.
In fact, the proceeds from our event, which we're going to talk about,
going directly to this,
are going to go to help fund one of those. There's 2 parts to it. It'll fund the purchase of one of these, part of one of these, and then it'll fund a nursing fellowship in palliative care nursing fellowship.
Okay.
It's the Sharon Carstairs Outcare Foundation fellowship in palliative care nursing, and you can imagine it's sort of a specialized kind of nursing on the palliative unit. Again, you would have experienced that, and so ongoing training is really important. And our partners in this event, the Outcare Foundation, it was their event. They very kindly came to us last year, and we partnered on that, and the proceeds went to create this fellowship. and we're going to continue to build the fellowship this year with half the proceeds and half to go to the robotics.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great partnership. Well, let's
great.
talk about the event itself, Black Tie Bingo. Describe it to our viewers.
Well, it's kind of two different things juxtaposed to each other, right?
Yeah.
You get gussied up and in a very sophisticated way, and then you play a really cool but basic kind of game. And I have not been to the previous events. I've only heard from people. I've seen photographs. It looks like a lot of fun because you can dress up and look a little uptight, but totally relaxed when it comes time to the games. The big part of it is that the prizing for the winners of the bingo are pretty significant, like trips to the Bahamas, weekend getaways to exclusive places, sports packages. So there's some good stuff that people can you can be generous by going and helping and walk away with some pretty great prizes.
Well, and have fun doing it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like that it's so different. You know, listen, I do live auctions all the time. I'm doing one tonight, as a matter of fact, but it's nice to mix it up and do something a little different. That's what one of the things I absolutely love that you guys are doing. I imagine food and drink are a part of this as well.
Absolutely, full sit-down dinner.
Okay.
You know, various choices that people will have. Cocktail reception at the beginning. If we might have one of those platform
beds to showcase.
So people can see what we're talking about. Just make it a little bit different. And there's a Hollywood glam theme. So again, if you want to take that black tie thing up a notch and really get glammed up, we invite you to do so.
Encourage you to do so.
I have to do a shout out to my co-chair.
Okay.
So Christine Irvin is the co-chair of this. She's the head of the Outcare Foundation. She came to me and asked if we could partner 2 years ago. She and a group of very dedicated volunteers from the Outcare Foundation are involved in this year's event with us.
Wonderful.
And we couldn't do it without them, so we're very grateful.
Yeah. And a shout out, by the way, to all the other volunteers that participate in many different ways, and in both the foundation, Outcare Foundation and Bruyère Foundation.
Well, they're the lifeblood of any charity,
100%.
Right?
So just like, you know, right here in studio, we've got wonderful volunteers. September 30th is the early bird. Head to the website. I'll remind you at the end of the show about that as well. We'll be right back after this.